Hey y'all, what's up? Big Wooly here, and welcome back to another episode of our Prison Escape Beginnings Let's Play. We're down in the mines. I have moved all of the essentials for our base down here. You can see our trees growing over there in our bonsai pots. We've got all of our little mob farms and villager traders and everything else kind of set up sort of in a basic way down here. But in today's episode, we are going to do a couple of things. We're going to get into the Advent of Ascension mod, and I want to get into some Flux networks. So without further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, I don't know if the Blackstone is the permanent floor color choice, but I put some floors down, raised all these up so that, you know, we have it here. I don't necessarily like how that looks, but we'll see. Maybe we'll elevate this stuff up on like a little platform and make it even prettier. But we brought power down, although power is really doing nothing right now except for being set up so that we can energize things if we need to. First things first, I put down, we don't have a clipboard or anything, so I put down a lectern and a book and quill. I had this written down on my desk, but did not put it on the list. So Flux networks, auto hammers and sieves, I want to get that set up. Autocrafting with AE2, need to get on that. Mob farm automation, wireless crafting terminal, wireless connectors, Advent of Ascension, portal, mystical agriculture. So let's go take a look at what that means. For mystical agriculture in this pack, in order to make our infusion altar, we need some stone, some pre-Cassian stone from the Advent of Ascension mod. Never dealt with any of that before, but if we come and we look in the mobs and monsters tab, you'll see that the pre-Cassia portal requires a bunch of stuff. We're missing some of it. Carved Rune of Reality. The only path you have to get it is by killing 25 spiders. Ancient Rock. The only path you have to get it, which you need 13 and the quest conveniently gives you 13, is from killing 25 zombies. So I did some things off camera that I kind of had wanted to do with you guys, but I needed to do them in order to get that ready for today's video, because I'm sure you didn't want to watch, 10 minutes. Actually, it turned out being about 25 minutes of me standing there killing mobs. But what I did was we have mob grinding utils in the pack, and I went ahead and made some mob fans to push all of our mobs into one area in here because it was kind of out of control in there otherwise. So this one in the middle got 3 width upgrades and 2 height upgrades. It really needs one more height upgrade in there. I just haven't made it yet. And then because this thing is too wide, we also needed one on each edge to push the mobs to the front. And then on the front edge, we've got an unmodified fan on each side pushing the mobs to the middle. And when you turn the switch off to make it, dark in here, everything gets pushed right here, except for those mobs that are up higher than those fans reach. And then they just kind of sit there. And eventually I got to the point where I had so much stuff trapped up top that wasn't getting blown around that I had to cut the fans off and then go in and actually clear out all those mobs. But I got the mobs killed that we needed for our Advent of Ascension stuff that we need to get into today. So back down to the mine, and now we can claim these quest rewards. As you can see, I killed a lot of mobs. I was just going to town, doing what we needed to do. Still don't have 25 skeletons. Oh, I'm only one away. But it looks like some of these runes you can also get from the chests when you do your cell unlocks, which is where I've gotten a lot of these that I already had from. So, you may not have to kill mobs. They are part of the loot tables for some of those chests as well. So now let's claim our quests. We need this one for sure. And then we don't necessarily need any of that, but we need this one as well, the Ancient Rock. So we'll come back and claim the rest of that later. But as you can see, now we have completed the prerequisites, and it shows us corners are not optional. Power goes in the bottom middle, direction on the right, space on the left. All right, let's find a spot to put this thing. Okay, so one more time with the quest. What is it? Carved rune of power, bottom middle. Power. Okay, power, bottom middle. And then we need ancient rock, 2 on either side. And then we need direction and space. So direction, space. Direction on the right, space on the left. Then go up to reality on the left, travel on the right. Up to reality on the left. Up to again. Oh, our ceiling's not tall enough. Travel on the right. And we're going to need some building blocks. Let me see if I got any in one of these bags. Then we nerd pull our way up here and go back and look at the portal. Now, oh, well, we do have enough room. Cool. Corners are not optional, and it's just 5 of the ancient rock across the top. Look at that. I conveniently made the space exactly tall enough for this portal. Totally unplanned. Gotta love it. All right, and this is on pickup, so it took my planks. Let's put them back in here. We can put the rest of these extras in the... Well, let's not put them in that backpack for now. Let's put them... Oh, I got 2 free waystones out of one of them quest rewards. That's nice. All right, so here's the portal. What do we do with the portal? I have no clue. Once the portal structure is created, the player can activate it using a realm stone. To activate the portal, a player must use a realm stone on the carved rune of power. And they gave us a realm stone. Okay. So here we go. Cool. Let's make sure we got food. We do. We have food in the backpack. Not a lot, but we've got food. In we go, I guess. Okay. It's an ocean. Well, here's the stone we need. And our portal happens to be in the middle of an ocean. Well, that's less than ideal. All right, let me go get us a boat and come back, and I will see if I can find any land, like if there's land in this place. If not, we'll figure it out. So I'm going to pause right here. I'll be right back with you. Alrighty, it does look like there is some land over here. Too bad our portal put us in the middle of an ocean, but at least we were able to find some land. So I did go ahead and add a waypoint so that we can get back to our portal if we need to get home, even though we should be able to just, waste stone or warp stone or something. Oh, those are like raptors. I wonder if they're aggro. Do I want to find out if they're aggro? I don't know. That's kind of scary. Let's go the other way from them. Let's see what else we find. There's a saber-toothed tiger. Or something. A chomper. Oh, he's aggressive. He's dead. Okay. Yeah, so we need to find some of the stone. That is one of the big major things. I wonder if these trees are like specific to this area. Oh, this thing's running. Well, it's probably not supposed to kill that. Well, leave it to me. Just kill everything. Bow bow. Okay. Precassion soil. I guess we should get some of that. Probably had to get some of their grass too, but at least we've got some now, I guess. And then there's stone. All right, so there's a bunch of stone. All right, let's see if we've got enough. Precasting cobble. Yeah, we got plenty. All right, that should be enough for us to get started into our mystical agriculture that I really wanted to get into. That was the only reason I wanted to come here for right now. Although there's a bunch of mobs here that we can kill a bunch of. Oh, we do have a quest to kill 5 of them, so I killed 1. Cool. Yeah, so we'll come back and work on some of these mobs the other times. There's sniffers in here. Neat. We'll come back and work on that some other time, or I may work on it in between episodes, because, I mean, y'all don't want to watch me run around and kill stuff, but maybe I'll do it, like, in between recording an episode. That way, if we find something cool, you guys can see it in the video. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to meet you guys back at the base. All right, so we need this stone for mystical agriculture in the stone form, if you go look. So if you look at it here, and you only need it for the infusion altar, you don't need it for the pedestals. The pedestals are the regular recipe. So we really only needed like 4 of that stone, but you need it in the stone, not the cobblestone form. So I'm gonna toss it into our jumbo furnace and let that work, because that's actually not really on the list of stuff I wanted to get done today. It's just something that there was a comment asking, and I had been meaning to do it because I do want to be able to get into mystical agriculture, which we've covered in plenty of other series. So if you've got any questions on any of that, I can, hopefully, if I remember, I'll throw a link to some kind of beginner's guide to mystical agriculture or something similar that I've done in the past. Now, Flux networks, let's talk about it. So Flux networks, we're going to need to take redstone, and we're going to need to take obsidian, which I only have 1 of. We should get some automation going on some obsidian. Maybe that's why I've got AE2 autocrafting listed. All right, so if I put this here, since this is bedrock, if I throw... Oh, I got to turn the pickup off on the backpack. Oops. So we turn off the pickup on the backpack. Now, left click it. That gives us flux dust. That's how you get it. We're going to need to make some more obsidian in order to get some more, but 64 should hopefully be enough for us to get started. So let's toss 64 flux dust in there. And if I need to make some more obsidian, we can go over there and just get cute with a fluid pipe out of the drawer into a waterlogged stone barrel if we really need it. So, you know, I'm going to set it up automatic that way. But, you know, if we wanted to, let's see, do we have trap doors? We do. We have enough. Okay. And then do I have a water bucket? I don't have a water bucket, but I have a sink. So yeah, what we could do to get us some obsidian going is we put this here, and then if we were to put just a piece of cobble or something here as a placeholder on top, and then we can surround this with trapdoors. And then now you can put your water right there on top. And then all we need is a fluid pipe of some kind. A basic mechanical pipe will work just fine. We go right there, and then we tell it it can extract from that drawer. And then what'll happen is, essentially, if we just get an empty hand, oh god, and we right click this stone barrel, we can just repeatedly get obsidian. So if we were to put this charm back in that was making everything suck to us, there we go. Just as fast as we can click it, we can get obsidian out of there. We can automate that with like a bunch of different ways. We could use an export bus from our AE2 and export the lava into one of these stone barrels, set it up with the water on top, and then put a drawer underneath it. Have it have a puller upgrade and have them pull out automatically. But in case we need some more flux dust, that's a real quick way for us to get our obsidian out of the setup we have available to us. Flux networks. If we come in here and we take a look at Flux networks, at Flux, we want this because we want to be able to get our power around our base. There's 3 major things we need. We need a point, we need a plug, and we need a controller. So with those things, point, controller, and plug, with those things, we're going to be able to take power into the network, move power around the base, and yeah, it's everything we need. So we need to make the flux cores, which require Eyes of Ender, which we have everything for those already being auto-crafted. Let's just make a whole stack. So now, flux cores. Oh, look, we needed more obsidian. Glad we made some. So let's go ahead and make, I don't know, 16 of these cores. We're probably going to need more, but we will see. So there's a flux point. Controller, we need flux blocks. 5 of them. Yeah, see, we may need more obsidian than we made just trying to be prepared, because we need 5 total of these, which means I need another set of flux cores. So that gets us our 5 flux blocks. And now our flux controller, we need another set of these. Ooh, glad we made that obsidian. I guess that was totally relevant to what we're doing this episode. All right, and then flux plugs. So the plug is how we get power into the network. Looks like we're going to need 2 more sets of the cores. Oh my goodness, we are going to have exactly enough, it looks like. Nope, we are out. We are short flux dust. All right, redstone. So let's go get some more redstone out, and let's go over there and go smash it with another piece of obsidian, which we almost have run out of as well. Cool. Yeah, so you need a decent amount of obsidian, and you also are going to need redstone for getting into flux networks. So, but if you are using your mine, well, actually your jail is also bedrock technically, so the floor in your jail will do the same as we're doing here. And there we go, another 64 obsidian, no problemo, or 64 flux dust. So then the last thing, we've got a point, we've got our controller, we need a plug. So 1 more flux block and a flux plug. Okay, this is going to be the core of everything Flux Networks. So all we really need to do is we need to take a plug, which is the way you get network into your, or power into your Flux Networks. We're going to put it right here. We need to create a network. So go to the network selection tab, hit the create a new network. Purple's my color, Woolly's network. There we go. So now we have a network available to us. We just need to tell this one to use it by clicking on it there on the network list. And now this is on our network. We're going to tell it that it can bypass the limit. And I think I have already chunk loaded all of this in between. I sure have. So now our power generation from our thermo generators that we went over a couple episodes ago will be able to send power into our Flux Networks. Now, controller, this can go pretty much anywhere. There's no specific set place that this needs to be. I just try and usually put it out of the way, go into it, put it on your network, then come to the wireless charging tab. This is one of the best parts about Flux Networks. You cannot enable main inventory, but you can enable everything else. Tick the box that says enable wireless and hit apply. And now anything in any of those spots on our person that needs to be charged will get charged automatically, like this Celestium sword that we got for free from the quest line, which is an upgrade over our Blaze Gold sword. Well, it will be once we enchant it like we have the Blaze Gold sword, but we also got a Celestium Paxel. We actually have 2 of them, so we'd be able to make these like 1 Silk Touch and 1 Fortune, and we would have a Silk Touch axe, shovel, and pickaxe on us at all times, and Flux Networks is going to recharge them, and they never break ever going forward. So I'll work on getting all those enchanted up in between this episode and the next, but that was one of the major reasons I wanted to get into Flux Networks, was we can keep all of our stuff recharged. And as we progress in the pack and can get to the Voodoo Shimmer Goo tier here, which we're not far from, then we will be able to have all of our armor and everything fully healed up all the time and don't have to worry about like charging this thing in lava so that it doesn't break, for instance. Absolutely awesome. So there's Flux Networks, you guys. It gets us wireless power. Let's cover the last little piece of it real quick. So the last little piece of it is, say you got something somewhere that needs power. For example, let's look at our Energized smelter, just for the fun of it. So before, we would have had to have put it right there because we need power for it, right? But now I can put it here, and even though this has power in it, if I take it the flux point, the third piece we made, you can even hide it under the floor if you want to make it look just a little nicer. You put it on any side of that block, and same as the other things with Flux Networks, come in here, put it on your network, and now it's going to provide power to this Energized smelter for us, even though this Energized smelter is nowhere near any of our other power. So let's just, for the sake of doing it, let's let's smelt something up. Do we have any raw anything? We got some raw ferrocore. So you'll notice I can toss this in here and the power dipped for just a second, but now it stayed fully charged up on power the whole time, and we smelted with no power connected to it other than our Flux networks. You can bring cables, so like your basic energy cable or pipes mods or any of the other energy conduit things, they can connect to your Flux points and you can string power along. So say we wanted to run a bunch of machines here, I could bring cable out from that all the way along the floor, tell it to extract, and I can feed all these machines off of that one set of cable there. So that's going to help me a lot as we move forward into getting into autocrafting with AE2, our auto hammers, or auto sieves. Now we have covered these hammers basics, the old ones, the other ones. Now that we have these different types of hammers, I'm going to set up some automations. I'm going to do that in between this and Friday's episode, and then I'm just going to show you guys the setup rather than cover the same material again with you. We did touch on our mob farm automation. The only thing really left to do to set that up automated for us is we need a way for it to kill the mobs and collect the drops. Well, so we've gotten just an absolute ton. I think we have like 4 of these. The absorption hopper. This will collect items, experience, everything within a 7x7x7 radius. It's from mob grinding utils, the same one as the fans. The other thing that we're going to use is we are going to use the grind. I think it's the mob grinder is what it's called. Mob masher here. Now this just needs a lever, a redstone signal to run, and it will sit there and kill mobs. And we can upgrade it with sharpness. We can upgrade it with looting. We can upgrade it with beheading so that we get heads. You can give it bane arthropods. You can give it smite. You can give it fire aspect so that it sets things on fire and cooks them or whatever. We're probably going to stay away from these up here, but we will give it beheading, looting, and sharpness. I'm going to work on getting all that set up in between, and since we have a second one of these Just Dire Things experience holders, I'll probably put that next to it as well to have that store up all of our experience that the mob farm is giving us. I can show you it once it's done, but, you know, once again, covered that in a bunch of other episodes, so I don't want to waste you guys' time doing the same things over and over and over, but I do want to talk about them. Now, wireless crafting terminal, wireless connectors, auto crafting with AE2. Let's start with that auto crafting. I'm looking at the time and we are going to be tight to get through auto crafting. It's a big, big thing. In AE2, to be able to auto craft, so if we come and look at add applied, we are going to need, actually, let's look at the quest line and see what the quest line wants us to do first. It may want us to do wireless first. Let's see, storage. Actually, yeah, it doesn't even cover auto crafting. Cool. So I can do it whichever way I want. Let's do auto crafting first if we can. So auto crafting first, we're going to need a molecular assembler. This is the thing that functions kind of like a crafting table. And you can have multiple of these attached to your pattern providers. Now, the pattern provider is just what it says. It provides a pattern. And then with a molecular assembler, it will do the crafting for you. So let's go ahead. We're going to make up a couple of these. Actually, I'll just make up one. Let's make up one molecular assembler. So we need some formation cores. We need some annihilation cores. Okay, we just ran out of flux dust, which may be a problem, but there's a molecular assembler. And then we just need 2 more crafting tables. And here is a pattern provider. Now, I'm going to do this in a rudimentary way. I'm just going to put it right here just for demonstration purposes. We will eventually move this off of here and set it up somewhere more permanent with a better setup. Or since extended AE2 is in here, we might go that route. But here is a pattern provider with a molecular assembler. And these are the 2 things you need. Now, the last part of this is you're going to need a pattern encoding terminal. This is how we are going to be able to tell our system, you know, how to make things. We need a crafting terminal. We need a terminal. There we go. Terminal. Crafting terminal. And like I said in last episode before, I went ahead and pre-crafted just an absolute ton, like a full stack of each of the different disc types. Do we have a raid going? Did that sound like a raid? I don't see a raid bar, but that sure sounded like a raid. Interesting. Okay, so now pattern encoding terminal. This is how we tell our system how to make stuff. It needs one more thing. It needs patterns. So we're going to make the first pattern on our own over here. We're going to be like, hey, I need some patterns. And then the absolute first pattern we're going to teach the system how to make, you guessed it, is patterns. You put it in here in your pattern provider. And now, if we were to come in here to the terminal, you see how there's none in there. I can hit that plus, but it's going to tell me I'm missing quartz glass. Okay, so now let's tell it how to make quartz glass. And so now, if we put that in there, it should, in theory, be able to craft us up a pattern if we tell it we want one. So can you make me 10? It's missing glass. Okay, what about 9? What about 8? No crafting CPUs are available. Aha! Wooly forgot about crafting CPUs. It's got to have a crafting CPU. So at applied, where are you? Yes, we are going to need a crafting unit, and it's going to need some form of crafting storage. I think we have some discs left in here, so we could do like a 4K storage, which is going to take a crafting unit. And then we're going to need another crafting unit to make our 4K storage. And then it has to be a cuboid in order to be a valid CPU. So it has to be a rectangle, a square, anything like that. And they do have to have storage. So if we go crafting, well, why are you not connecting? Crafting storage, will you connect? There we go. So crafting storage and then a crafting unit should make a CPU. And now if we tell it to make a pattern and tell it to make, what was it, 8 that we can make with the materials we have, it should craft up 8 patterns automatically for us. Presto. Now, this is rudimentary. This is basic AE2 auto crafting, and I fumbled through because I forgot about needing CPUs. So, yeah, I'm going to work on expanding on this and getting a little bit better setup going in between episodes, and I will show you guys that next time, along with things like automations for furnaces, for example, because we're going to need to be able to craft glass. You need glass all the time, and we can do that with a pattern provider and a furnace of some kind and have it send and get the drops back all through AE2. But that is all we have time for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. We went to the Pre-Cassian Ocean for the first time ever, set up that portal for the first time ever, and we worked on some AE2 stuff. We covered some stuff having to do with mob farms. We got Flux networks up and running. I think today was a very productive episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and we'll see y'all next time.